the February 26th, 2026 school committee meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order and like everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wonderful. We have any public comment? I don't see anybody for public comments, so I guess we're not. Recognitions.
I had a lovely time, and you were there too, at the Lunar New Year Gala that the Hopkinton Chinese American Association put on. It was their 10th year, and so I think there are extra special things happening, but it was a beautiful display of the different dances and songs, and the food was incredible. It was a really wonderful celebration.
It was really great. Wonderful celebration. And as you said in some emails, but a big thanks to the Public Works Department and the Facilities Department for the Hopkinton Public Schools for all the work they did this week, getting our kids back to school on Wednesday. I know everyone, all the parents in Hopkinton are very appreciative of that.
I had one person who suggested that maybe my Pennsylvania plan might be looked at with pleasure from parents today.
Yes. Well, less vacationing would be better. All right, Ella.
Hi. From the high school, thank you for snow days. Especially from a senior, I don't have to make those days up. So it was a lot of fun. Okay, so the winter season is coming to an end for sports. The boys basketball team has a game tonight against Quincy, where Ryan is. The girls basketball team has a playoff game tomorrow at 6 in the Athletic Center versus Bridgewater Rainham Regional. Boys hockey won last night, their first playoff game, by 1 point, and then they have a game, that was versus Gulster, and then they have a playoff game hopefully next week, but scheduling's a little wobbly. And spring sport teams are currently in captain's practices preparing for the season. Event updates. First, seniors had a class meeting today, which is exciting because we covered the capstone project and events towards graduation. And our student government has done a really good job organizing it, so shout out to them. And exciting news, our caps and gowns are shipped.
Yeah,
that's
they're new.
It's real now.
They are new. They are new. They are changing.
So we're going to unveil a new cap.
New look.
Same color?
Same color.
Same color.
No color.
Has been a tradition.
I know it has. Yes. Color.
And then also today, anatomy and physiology students were able to visit the Big Brain in the library. Many other students were able to view it. But it's sponsored by Hopkinton Organizing for Prevention, organization I'm actually a part of. And students were able to learn about the anatomy of the brain as well as the effects of substances on the brain, which I thought was super interesting. Looking forward to the month of March, there's a unified basketball versus teacher game on Tuesday, March 3rd at 6 p.m. Hopkinton High School is hosting a night to celebrate the holy month of Ramadan on Wednesday, March 4th at 7 p.m. in the Athletic Center. The HHS Theater Department is performing Our Town on March 5th at 4:30, March 6th and 7th at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. There's also a Stuco-sponsored 3-on-3 March Madness tournament on March 10th at 6 p.m. And then the high school art department has an honors expedition on display from March 4th to the 12th at the HCA. And the closing reception is on the 12th from 6 to 7. HHS is also hosting a polar plunge at the middle school on Thursday the 12th to raise money for the Special Olympics, and the plunge will take place at 3 p.m. We have a lot of teachers and staff signed up for certain markings. Are you participating? Mr. Bishop would be there. And so it's super exciting, and we get a lot of participation. And then lastly, we have the spring concert on the 12th at 7 p.m.
Is that March 12th?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a question about the polar plunge.
Yes.
Because traditionally that's into a body of water.
Sure is.
Yes. There's like a pool of some
Okay.
sorts. Yes.
There could be
Very cool.
there could be a picture of it coming up on this next slide.
Yes.
Is it kind of
Yes.
like the one they used, the donkey tank?
It's bigger than that. It's probably about 12 feet by, I don't know, 8 feet. It's
Yeah.
pretty. You can jump in with
Wow.
2 or 3 people at once.
Yeah.
into
Are
it.
you part of that?
Yeah. I jumped in backwards last year.
Wow.
I didn't want to look, yeah, you had to push me in.
Great.
Yeah, exciting.
Lot going on.
There is a lot going on.
Very exciting.
All right.
Superintendent's report.
Yeah, so speaking of a lot going on, good evening, everyone. This is the superintendent's report for February 26th. It's rather brief, as we're just settling back into our routine after vacation in the snowstorm. But there are some highlights to focus on. And like our chair mentioned, I do want to thank Tim Person and our facilities team for their working around the clock earlier this week with the storm, clearing parking lots and sidewalks. They did a tremendous job. So shout out to that group. So I'd like to start with Marathon. As you see here on the left, students enjoying some outdoor recess today, making the most out of the snow piles and the fresh air and a little extra winter fun with their classmates. Marathon also hosted their annual math night before vacation. Very well attended. A big shout out to some of the high school students who volunteered to support the event. It was also nice to see Mr. Child, who's on the right-hand side there with the Hiller sweatshirt. He is a Marathon parent, but also a high school math teacher. So a nice example of the connections that we're making around the community. Shifting over to Elmwood, our third graders had a special visit from WBZ meteorologist Jacob Wyckoff before vacation. We talked about weather, forecasting, and storm systems. Also, Elmwood's second grade teachers, Miss Kelly and Miss Newton, hosted their second of 3 STEAM events of the year before break, including the always popular Rain, Cloud, and a Cup and Can You Save Fred activities. Altogether, these experiences really highlighted the curiosity and hands-on work that's happening in Elmwood each day. Moving on to Hopkins, students and staff celebrated Kindness Week just before break. This week wrapped up with a whole school meeting in our new gym for the first time, which was exciting. You see the picture there on the right-hand side. The assembly focused on empathy, respect, and the importance of small acts of kindness. It was a nice way to head into the vacation and a strong reminder of the culture and belonging that continues to grow at Hopkins School.
I really like the poster.
Yeah, so that's up in a few classrooms, which I think is pretty neat.
That's really cool.
Yep. The middle school also has a couple of community events coming up. Tomorrow night, the gym will be buzzing as the 8th grade has a school dance from 6:30 to 8. Always fun opportunity for kids to connect and unwind. And as Ella just mentioned, the middle school, in conjunction with the high school, will be hosting its annual Special Olympics Polar Plunge on Thursday, March 12th at 3 p.m. It happens right by the water towers in the middle school parking lot underneath the parking area. What's the word I'm looking for?
Solar panels.
Solar panels, thank you very much. This event has become a meaningful and popular tradition that brings students and staff together to support an incredible cause, and all are encouraged to participate or at least come by to cheer folks on. At the high school, in addition to what Ella just mentioned, the atrium was transformed recently for the second annual Tri-M Jazz Cafe, an evening that showcased the talent of our students in a relaxed cafe-style setting. Also want to recognize our mock trial team for their strong performance at a recent competition where they competed with professionalism and brought home both individual and team honors. I know Ella also mentioned this as well, but our drama ensemble will be performing the classic play Our Town by Thornton Wilder next week, set in New Hampshire based on the real town of Peterborough, New Hampshire. Our town encapsulates the beautiful simplicity of life, love, and the death in a small town in the early 20th century. The show times are Thursday at 4:30, Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. So this is the 5th, 6th, and 7th of March. From a district perspective, I'd like to congratulate Marathon first grade teacher Jen Kane and 7th grade middle school science teacher Mary Frances Kirschenbaum, who have been named the 2 nominees from Hopkinton for this year's Tech Celebrates Teaching event. This recognizes staff members and the impact that they have on students every day, and we're proud to have the 2 of them represent our school system. The event is happening in the end of March in Norwood, and we'll be joined by educators from across the state. So congratulations to the 2 of them. And our top of the hill spotlight, there's a lot to spotlight, but it shines this week on our high school boys winter track and field team for winning the Division II state championship. Came down to the final event with the Hillers edging out Concord Carlisle by just a half a point. So thank you to Coach Keene, Coach Kane, Coach Webb, Prescott, and Donahue for their leadership, and congratulations to our student athletes on an outstanding accomplishment.
What about Woodford?
I don't know actually the event that it came down to.
It would have been an event that it came down to.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a host of events that they
I say I knew,
contribute,
but
yeah.
I couldn't tell you right at the top of my head.
And that's the superintendent's report for the 26th.
Exciting. All right. Chair report. Payroll warrant S26016 has been approved. Warrants 26092S, 26093S, 26094S, 26095S, 26096S, 26097S have all been approved, and the warrants are in your folder. On February 5th, executive session minutes for January 2nd, March 21st, January 2nd, 2026, March 21st, 2019 were approved to release with redactions due to reasons the executive session still exists. Executive session minutes for January 16th, 2026 were approved and not released as reason due to personnel matters. Executive sessions for January 3rd, 2019 were approved and not released due to security matters. Executive session minutes for January 31st, 2019 and March 5th, 2019 were approved and released. Executive sessions for January 11th, 2024, February 15th, 2024, March 7th, 2024, March 21st, 2024, June 13th, 2024, July 11th, 2024, July 25th, 2024, August 22nd, 2024, October 24th, 2024, November 14th, 2024, December 19th, 2024 were reviewed and not released due to the reason for the executive session still exists. Now I need to stop talking, and we have liaison reports. Anyone?
I don't have anything new right now.
Okay, we are good. So we have our friends here, Sean McCullough, our health director, Simone Carter, our public health nurse, to share some information with us about vaccinations.
Okay, well, thank you for having us. So this all came around because we had provided an update to our board. They had concerns with the growing number of measles cases that are occurring around the country, and had questions about what risks existed within. Existed, within the community. So we put together a brief presentation, went through the data, and at the end of the day, we're in really good shape here in Hopkinton.
Great.
We have really high vaccination rates. We have a low risk because of the higher vaccination rates. After this meeting concludes and we send out links to different modeling tools so that you can use the vaccination rates that exist as reported by the DPH, and then you could have discussions with the individual school nurses to see what the actual rates are in Hopkinton, plug those in, and see that the modeled risk within this school district is extremely low.
Great.
If you look at the tools that are available online through the Globe and several other state and federal agencies, the vaccination data for the school district and for Hopkinton in general is much lower than actually exists. And that's because the data that we have access to is about 2 to 3 years behind what exists, what's available in the district and to the school nurses.
Okay.
And then the data they're drawing from is from the DPH vaccination data, not the actual immunization data. So if you start playing with those numbers and start seeing that there's a greater risk, at the end of the day, that's not the case.
Okay.
And then moving forward, Simone's, the town's public health nurse. One of the top nurses, if not the top nurse in the Commonwealth. She'll address the medical side of this, and I'll, if there was an incident, I come in on the administrative side.
Well, thank you all for having me. Simone Carter, nice to meet all of you or see you all again. And I'll just go over some quick bullet points that hopefully provide some education and reassurance.
And then we have created a quick reference for families, as well as some handouts on the actual state laws that govern the way we control spread. So let me just start with, as you can see from the slides that we've provided, measles is one of the most contagious viruses in public health. It can remain in the air for up to 2 hours, and if 10 unvaccinated folks are exposed, likely 9 will become infected. So to prevent outbreaks, we need 95% or so vaccine coverage. When rates fall below that, measles can spread very quickly. Similar to like a wildfire spreading through the dry brush. So to prevent this from happening, I just want to go over the key facts. So number one, remember, it's highly contagious. So if you're unvaccinated, 90% of those folks will develop the virus if exposed. You are contagious for at least 4 days before the rash develops. And it's airborne within the air that you were in for 2 hours. So you can be asymptomatic or look completely healthy and actually have measles, which is what makes it a little bit trickier to deal with. The good news is that 2 doses of the MMR are 97% protective, and especially for those infants that are under 12 months old, they're at really high risk. So the other thing to take away is that if you act fast and contact your pediatrician, a vaccine is effective within 72 hours of administration. So symptoms can persist for 10 to 14 days post-exposure. Again, the rash usually doesn't start until much later on. And if exposed, number one, check to see if you know if you're vaccinated or not. If you don't know, call your doctor. If you're vaccinated, you don't have to take any action. If you're not vaccinated or unsure, that is when you'd want to get the MMR within 72 hours if you're above the age of 6 months. Let's see, we can go to the next slide. So basically, the bottom line is we want to, I don't know, we're still on the first slide.
Yeah.
So
We're having some issues with the remote right now.
okay, alrighty. So actually, the second slide, for those of you that are at home, it just kind of gives a up-close snapshot of Hopkinton and why we're in a good space. I don't know. That's the last slide. So slide number 3.
There they go.
There we go.
3.
Thank you.
There you
Perfect,
go.
Thank you.
So that's kind of where we are.
Just tell me when to go and I'll do it for you. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. So again, that's where we are. And then on the next slide, please.
So wait, we're on there. It says high-risk areas nearby.
Yes.
Yes.
There are communities,
There are communities that have lower
vaccination rates.
right.
vaccination rates. So if you're 30% vaccinated or less, you are at a higher risk.
Okay,
Okay?
interesting.
I mean, it's worth noting, again, in Hopkins, in the school district, what, I think the lowest rate of vaccination
Was
is
93 or 92?
90, and
And
that's
that
actually a
was-
little low because they haven't captured certain students that had, I think, recently moved into the district, and those records hadn't been fully captured, and/or people were on
A catch-up
a
plan.
vaccination schedule. So, but generally speaking, we're above 95, and most often we're for MMR, and several others were in the 98 to 99%
Right.
percentile.
Yep.
For the 3% that would not, it's, the effectiveness is 97% with the 2 doses, would the 3% have at least decreased illness with the vaccine?
Yes.
Yes.
So within 72 hours, it's kind of like rabies prophylaxis, right? It's, if you can get there quickly, that's why contact tracing and surveillance is so key, so that if we know if someone is exposed, if we act quickly within 72 hours, we can take that rate of disease down significantly.
Could you refresh my memory? It's been a long time since I had any contact with measles. Explain that, how it's far more than just this nasty rash, itchy rash that kids get. What are the big reasons why you wouldn't want your child to have measles?
It can cause long-term neurologic damage.
Okay.
It can do serious harm to especially young male children, to their reproductive organs.
Okay.
And kids die.
Okay. Because I knew it was more than the rash, and even though we had vaccinations when I was young, back probably around 1900, we would get measles, but every once in a while. But somewhere much later, I think, in my life, we learned just how dangerous they were.
Yes, and it can do a lot of damage to like internal organs with the reaction and inflammation.
Yeah.
So if we can prevent it, being exposed to a little bit of the virus proactively has much better health benefits overall than if you actually catch the disease. And then another important takeaway is for folks that were born 1957 and prior, you're good, because you either had it or you're good by now. You've been exposed. There's that little, there's that, your group that's a little bit, they may need to get a second vaccine. So that goes up to about 1967.
Yes, it was like 65 to 67, 68. There was a chance that you got an ineffective dose. So we had to go to San Antonio for a public health emergency planning conference. And there was an outbreak in San Antonio at the time of the public health conference. So
Ironic.
Yeah.
all of the individuals of my age, because I'm a 66.
They hardened you up?
I went in and got a booster, and
Yeah.
so there are things that we can do if there's a question or doubt, but again, because we are doing well in this town, and I was talking to Evan before we got started. We had someone with measles. They went through Logan, stayed overnight in Westboro, ate in Framingham, went back to the hotel, and then left and went back through Logan. And there's no known reported illness that resulted from that exposure.
I was afraid you were going to say there was a trail.
No,
and
no.
that's because our rates are so high here. And that's one of the things that, Spilka, will sit down with the health directors and say, what can we do to make sure that we are protecting the population and those that are at great risk within the population. So it's the immunocompromised, those that are involved in different treatments, and then those that can't be vaccinated because of different illnesses or allergies. So, our job is to protect that population as well as the population that isn't unvaccinated. So, again, we're we're in good shape here.
Yeah, and our role is monitoring clear communication and then rapid response if needed. And, if there's an active outbreak, families with infants under 12 months should probably speak with their pediatrician to see about an early MMR vaccination at 6 months. But remember that if you're fully vaccinated, you are very well protected. And we have provided a few tools, and if there are any questions, we're happy to take those.
Is there a point at which, because the 65 to 67 seems like a potential vulnerability, where there's a recommendation to have like titers done or something to check?
Well, if there's ongoing spread in the community, then it'd be worth
Just
I'm going to
getting.
tell you, if you're worried, just get another vaccination. It can't hurt you. You may spend, or at the very least, check with your insurance company to ensure that those titers are covered. And sometimes titers come back negative when
What are titers?
So, and I asked because I'm not in that age group, but I had to have, because I didn't have my childhood vaccine records for when I started my job working in a hospital, I had to have titers done to prove that I'd had
Right.
it. But my mumps came back low.
Yep.
But measles so I had a repeat on the shot, but I just wondered if that was.
Yeah, and I've actually experienced the same thing. I got to take the hepatitis series a couple times because of that. So,
They draw your blood.
but
Oh, okay, midnight.
Yeah.
yeah.
Measure.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
But, and then, if by chance, I mean, with the amount of illness that's in the U.S. right now, like vacationing in spring break, there's a risk of people having contact while they're away and bringing it back. I have a running joke with the DPH where I'll call and say, no, it's Sean in Hopkinton. I need to talk to someone now. And it's Hopkinton. And they're like, oh, yeah. And then, because we hold our own against some of the cities in the Commonwealth. And we have a great relationship with the DPH. We have an excellent team here. And we have two other per diem nurses that work. One's an intensive, an ER nurse. The other one is a nurse with the VA. So we can rapidly deploy staff. We have good relationships with the DEP and other pediatricians and physicians' offices, so we can get.
And we can offer vaccinations, as you know.
Yeah.
Um,
And all of
Stuff we
anybody
do is-
who's under-vaccinated that might have moved into the community, we're taking care of them and work with the school nurses so that we identify those and then we work out plans to get everybody caught up. And then in the event that there's an exposure, we will work with the school nurses, we'll help them and manage contact tracing, identifying susceptible or highly susceptible populations within the school, that being people that are undergoing like chemotherapy, people that are or immunotherapy, people that are allergic to vaccines and can't be vaccinated or are not vaccinated. And we will work to isolate them or assess the risk that exists within the district or within the school, communicate that out to the public, to the district, to the board, and then just I'll manage it from a regulatory sense, be it through quarantine or exclusion. But we have it's well outlined in the DPH and CDC regulations. So at the end of the day, the takeaway is that we're in good shape, and school nurses should be applauded for
Wonderful.
the good work that they
Yeah,
do.
we're very lucky to have an
Yeah.
excellent group of
So,
schools.
any questions?
Is there anything else we can do to help?
No.
Spread the word.
Spread the word.
What we're doing
Sounds
is
like we've done a good
we
job
want the
spreading the
school
word.
nurses, their data should be available to the DPH. So there's there's a roadblock there that
You're advocating for.
yes.
Is there a reason?
I remember that was brought up to us last year when we had the school nurses come.
It's
We're all here.
bureaucracy.
But those of us that were here, remember the school nurses came and raised that as
What's
a concern?
what's the roadblock you need to overcome to allow that juncture?
Oh, that's way.
Is it administrative or is it legislative?
I don't know if I should touch the third rail.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a third rail? Okay.
When you get calls from the top,
Oh, okay.
it's,
but the nurses are great.
yeah,
They really
Right.
are. Yeah.
it's really, everything's working.
Shout out.
I don't think people ever realize how critical a school nurse is.
No,
They don't.
no.
And they
Much
know their peeps.
underappreciated.
Yes. So big shout out. Thank you.
It's great that you guys are all able to work so well together.
Yeah.
I think that benefits all of us.
Well, that, again,
appreciate it.
it takes both sides, so thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're so
Thank you.
glad to have you join us. All right, we're going to take out of order and go to the Hopkins additional scope review, since we have our friends from Vertex and Commodore joining us tonight. You're gonna replace
No, no.
Sean and
Okay.
Simone here in just a minute. They'll move along.
Is there a cord that you'd like me to plug into and control it, or do you want to do the slides?
I can probably do the slides from here if you'd like, yeah. Is it, yeah, I got it right here. Yep. I'll just Apple TV.
Great.
All right, hi everybody. Just a refresher, I'm Carly Collmore. I work with Vertex and we're the owner's project manager for the Hopkins project and the Charles Wood project. But tonight we're just going to be discussing a few items for Hopkins. So if you recall, the last time we presented to you was at the end of October, and we presented a schedule shift which improved upon the schedule and allowed us to turn over the new edition of the school at the end of December instead of the middle to end of February like we originally planned. That helped with alleviating time in the construction schedule, and with that time that we gained back, it allowed us to look at additional scope items that the school was interested in pursuing. So those items we touched on at a high level last time, and those are what I'm going to kind of dive into tonight. We have some better information on cost that we're going to present to you. So, sorry, the first slide, I just wanted to start with going over our project budget summary. So what you see in front of you, these are all of our main budget categories for the project. There are several other line items that comprise each of these, but these are just kind of the totals of each major category. And the last column is what we have left to commit or spend in each of those categories. So the color coding, you'll see items like owner's project manager, other administration, architecture and engineering. Those buckets of money are in yellow because they're reserved for a specific use, meaning we don't think that we can draw from those to help cover the expense of these additional items, where we think that we're going to spend all of that throughout the course of the rest of the project. The two buckets that we are able to pull from are construction contract, which really that $1.6 million number is the remaining buyout funds that we had from when we bought out the contract with Commodore, and our combined contingencies of $2.9 million. So when you add those two buckets together, we have an available construction contingency of $4.6 million, and that's the number that we are weighing these additional scope items against. I did want to note that we are currently looking at an estimated and pending change order list of roughly $1 million of items that we think might move forward, but they're not necessarily set in stone yet. So that number has been weighed against the additional scope items as well. Next slide, please. So this is just an overview of the proposed additional scope. We are looking at repaving the loop road, which is the big item, full flooring replacement throughout the existing building, new tile scope in the existing bathrooms, and replacement of existing toilet partitions, and also additional furniture replacements. Next slide, please. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one and then present the cost to you for everything at once so we can look at it from a budget perspective. But the first item is repaving the loop road, which I know that we've talked about at a few meetings, the scope of which would include either mill or overlay or a full depth replacement depending on the existing conditions that we found throughout the loop road. It would also include new sidewalks. It does not include the 3 parking lots that are shown in red here. Those are outside the scope for right now. What the item or the lines in yellow is what this project comprises for the loop road. And the blue section is what is currently under contract we own with the construction project. So it's really the extent of everything in yellow is what we're looking at. We did go through Conservation Commission, that process, and we recently received approval to move forward from their perspective. Next slide, thanks.
So hold on, one question there.
Yeah,
It says
sure.
also sidewalks. Is there going to be sidewalks along the whole way now, or?
I would have to double check. I know that they're replacing what's there with bituminous asphalt again, but I don't know if we are adding additional. Do you know,
Off the top of
Ricky?
my head, I think we're just replacing the ones that are
Ones
there.
that are there.
We're
Okay.
adding additional sidewalks.
Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty sure it's,
Okay.
yeah.
Same width and same dimensions.
Yeah.
With the
And I
existing.
imagine the Conservation Commission would not like us adding more.
Yeah, we didn't.
sidewalk.
I know we didn't add anything. It's really a replacement in kind with what's there right now. So we're not expanding.
That would change the what you put before the conservation,
Yes.
so.
The 1.8 million, that covers everything in yellow,
Yes.
and that was put out to bid, or was that through an existing contract?
So what we did, it's through, and Ricky can probably help me out with this if I'm speaking
Ricky, do you want to
incorrectly.
Yeah, go to the, yeah.
Sorry.
We had to invite her.
I didn't tell Ricky that he was going to be helping me with this right now, so. But I know for the Loop Road, we did pursue pricing through one of the existing subcontractors that it's Welch.
Yeah.
So a single bid?
Yes.
Yes, through the site
As a
contractor we have
change order,
under
yeah.
contract on the Hawkins project.
Is there a reason we wouldn't solicit more than one bid?
I don't think so.
It's just, we had just gotten an initial number just based on the convenience factor of someone that they already own some scope there, so then the only kind of difficult thing with bringing in a secondary subcontractor is then we have 2 contractors working on, because they will still they already own under contract all the work in blue, so it wouldn't be a huge issue, but it would just be 2 subcontractors working on a single site where they would each own kind of a piecemeal piece of it, but it's...
Are we already under contract for the 1.8 million? I mean, that seems odd to me. That
We're not
not.
under contract.
Okay.
What we're looking at tonight is for that change order approval, so we're not under any contract, because at this time, the school committee has not approved anything.
Okay.
We're under contract for what you already see in blue.
In blue, I get that.
Yep.
And the company that's doing what's in blue is the one is scheduled to do the work in yellow.
Yes.
And that's the only bid we took.
Well, that's not scheduled.
It's
I know it's not scheduled.
right,
It's
so
being
it's
proposed to us.
it's soliciting a change order
I get
through
it.
the same, yes.
And there's one bid, okay.
And it's been a while since I've been on the Hopkins sidewalk, full disclosure, but how much of what's in yellow there is sidewalk for the, I guess any,
The sidewalk goes
Yeah.
basically from the school over, like, across the bridge almost to Hawkins. So where that parking lot is on that side,
yep.
a little, not quite to that, but almost. all the way to the back of the high school.
Yeah, because students will park.
So it starts where the arrow
I
is?
think there is sidewalk the entire way.
It's on the other side.
There are times where it crosses the road.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yep.
that's the main.
So if you look at from the high school down, I think, to the bus lot, it's on the bus lot side.
Yep,
Then
that's right.
it continues around the loop road,
it
but
stays
on
on
the
that
Hopkins
side, yeah.
loop, it jumps across the road.
Yeah.
So there is a crosswalk.
Over there.
And then the sidewalk continues on the opposite side.
Run down the
What's the condition of that sidewalk?
Yeah.
Oh, most of them are terrible.
Yeah, it's not,
Yeah.
That's what
The
I
road
thought.
itself, your car could,
I die in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's not great.
I
Yeah.
think I remember I was walking almost there one day. and
yeah.
It needs a little attention for sure.
Wallace noticed that. He said, "Come on, Mom, you're not putting me on that road."
What's involved in getting additional bids?
I mean, we can certainly solicit
we can
additional
suggest-
pricing. Yeah.
Don't we want additional bids? Am I the only one concerned with that, or?
No, I mean,
It's not a problem at all.
Okay,
No, we can
great,
get,
okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Good
I think we
idea.
didn't really do that. I think initially we just did it with the subcontractor we had because we were trying to understand like what the additional price would be.
Got it.
But we can certainly pursue
That'd be great.
additional
Thank
pricing.
you.
Yeah.
Next slide.
Oh, please, thank you. So the next item we were looking at was full flooring replacement throughout the existing building. So I have a couple photos here. The two on top are a existing classroom and corridor, and the tiles that we currently have there now. And the two on the bottom are a new classroom and new corridor in the addition with the new flooring. And the scope for the full replacement would basically include all classrooms, administrative offices, and corridors that are not already owned in the construction contract, with the goal of creating some fluidity and uniformity throughout both spaces, so there's not really a stark stop and start point with the new addition and the existing building. That's a big theme with most of these, is really just making sure the building is as cohesive as possible.
It's not a matter of the need to replace it.
It's aesthetic.
I would say it's aesthetic, but there's not any major issues with it, but it is older
It
flooring.
is 30-year-old.
Yeah.
So what's the shelf life left on it?
Yeah, I would say it's
Not
not much.
toward the end
much.
of its useful
Yeah,
life.
not much.
Yeah.
There's some,
we didn't do
there's
it
some
now.
areas in there that are in very rough condition.
Yeah.
The
So
other,
when you're under construction, the expense would be a little bit less than have to come in later and do it?
Yeah.
the other piece to it also is maintenance. The existing floor, you strip and wax
Okay.
all the time. The new floor, you don't do that at all.
Oh, that's nice.
So you're saving in manpower, you're saving in chemicals. So there's
Custodial
a
staff.
very inconsistent
Yeah.
maintenance. And when you walk from the hallway from the new building to the old building, you'll always have that seam of where wax is going to now flop over into your new floor.
Point, yes.
So it's going to make that transition look even worse.
How much is this?
All the costs we'll get to at
I
the
can bring
end.
up at the end. Yeah.
You're jumping the gun.
Our money man.
The next slide, so this is upgrades to the existing bathrooms, which includes a couple pieces. So the first one would be replacement of the existing floor tiles in both the student bathrooms and the single-use bathrooms in the existing school. And we would also be looking at replacing the existing toilet partitions. Both of those items would match the new flooring tile and the new partitions that we have in the new addition. And again, just like with the flooring, we're trying to tie all the spaces together, so there's really not a huge difference between both areas. We did initially, when we had first presented, look at regrouting the tiles in the bathroom, but once we looked at the cost of doing that, it was almost the exact same as replacing the flooring, so we felt that that was
And the tiles do need regrouting.
They definitely
Yes.
do, yeah. Yeah. It's their time.
And from the school perspective, students now are avoiding the existing bathrooms and they're going to the new bathrooms. So there is a stark
Yeah.
difference.
There is a stark difference.
So,
The bottom left
windows
is
are
the new,
juicy.
what the new
The
ones look
bottom
like.
left is a new student bathroom in the
And
addition.
top one is what they look like the other ones.
Yeah, exactly. The top right is a single-use bathroom in the existing building, and then the bottom is just what the typical floor tile looks like in the new addition. And the last one that we're looking at is additional furniture replacement. So for this one, the scope of the furniture package would include new furniture for the entirety of the new addition, reconfigured classrooms and administrative spaces in the existing building, and also expanded scope in the bookroom and media center. Our original furniture budget, we had a budget of $575,000. And this furniture package that we priced, we have an estimated overage of $125,000. A good chunk of that is attributed to furnishings in the bookroom and the media center at roughly $73,000. The extent of furnishings for those spaces were not included in the original scope, but after review with the school team, they are integral to the functionality of the space, so that's why we're proposing to include it in this package. The school team is also very interested in replacing all of the furniture throughout the entire school, but we're holding off pending completion, or when we get closer to completion of construction of the project, because we just want to make sure that we have all the funding available. We did look at the cost for replacing everything, and in addition to everything, it would be roughly another $224,000 to get the remaining furniture. All right. Oops, sorry. All right, so this is everyone's favorite part. So this is all the costs that we have forecasted for each item. Repavement of the loop road at just over $1.8 million. The full flooring replacement in the existing building would be $547,000. The new tile scope in the existing bathrooms, $120,000. Replacement of the existing toilet partitions, $69,000, and then the additional furniture package and replacements at $125,000. And when we put all these costs against the remaining contingencies that we have in placeholders in the budget, we're forecasting a remaining construction contingency of $674,000, which I think puts us in a good place for now. And again, once we get closer to the end of construction, we'll have a better handle on estimated future expenditures and if we'll have enough money to procure the rest of the furniture like we hope.
Yeah, I was wondering if you got a idea of price for the additional furniture. Did you get an idea of the price to replace everything?
Yeah, so that $224,000 would replace everything that we're not touching. So at that point, the whole school would be outfitted with new.
All new furniture.
Yes.
and, and the big piece to that, not just new furniture, but to make it a cohesive building.
Yes.
And furniture that is more attuned to how classes are taught now.
And you also want to take away the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
So where the newer side has everything brand new.
Mrs. Jones has this really great classroom, and Mrs. Smith has this old crack place.
Then the other the other thing to keep in mind though too is as kids move, the number of kids in each classroom changes.
Yes.
So desks are swapped all around. So you'll have a time eventually where it will start to look like a yard sale. So just something to keep in mind.
And we've talked a lot with the school team about it's basically opening a new school, bringing the 6th grade down and the 4th grade out. So it's really important to have some consistency, some cohesion, that culture, not where it's looking like a yard sale to your point.
Yeah.
It's really important from our
And really kind of built, because it is a new school, you really do want to build that culture.
Oh, yeah.
Where everyone is equal and kind of building their next new phase of what Hopkins School looks like. But we're holding on the replacement of the rest of the furniture because we want to make sure, that we're bringing this project in,
Right.
in a good place.
And furniture does get wear and tear and abuse and
Sure does. Yep.
starts
So
looking really, like you said, yard sale.
Well, and to give you an idea, I walked the middle school because we're tagging the rooms that will get the new flooring, which is part of the 27 budget. And I walked in the rooms of the teachers that got the new desks and chairs last year, where we were able to do a few. They were so thankful. And we're demonstrating what, the Chromebook can fit here and a place to write, so it, they're noticing these things, and it's working for the kids.
Excellent.
We'll have, if we spend that, I don't know, it's 2.6, there'll be 675 left of contingency?
That's what we're projecting, yeah.
Project.
And that includes the estimated change orders, a couple other budget placeholders that we're holding. But this is like a good conservative number that we think we're gonna have there.
But we'd need a little bit more to replace all the furniture.
I think just because, we do still have a stretch of the project left, and furniture isn't integral, like flooring, like that's something we would need to
Come back,
tackle.
yeah.
Exactly.
Makes
Furniture
sense.
can always be replaced after. So it's just making sure that we have enough funding.
And one of the things to think about is also that I know the town budget for capital projects is going to be really tight for the next foreseeable future. So if we can relieve some of those things, like the flooring has to be done at some point anyway, we don't want that to be
Yeah, we
Coming up
have the
during
ability to do it out of this
Yeah.
pot of money.
So we need an extra 225 for new furnishings for the entire building.
If
Yeah.
we're in that, yes.
Yes, yeah.
We're not deciding that tonight.
What's that?
That's not on our
Yeah,
slate to
yeah,
decide.
I'm just curious if we get estimates from the Loop Road and there's a few $100,000. It's a way to maybe finish the furniture, so.
And
Got it.
you'll see when you get to the motions, it's a not to exceed number, for the Loop Road. So if they get,
If we can get
additional
a lower
bids where the
number.
number comes in lower, yes, then that will add to your remaining contingency.
Great.
And I put the recommended motions up on the screen here.
I think our taxpayers appreciate when we're careful with the money, and if possible, if we have some to return at the end.
Yes.
Of course. Always appreciated, but also want to make sure that we're doing the project to the best of what we're serving our kids with, so. Of course. Appreciate the thoughtfulness.
Yeah, and the furniture piece, especially hearing what the school team was saying, that supports principles of universal design for learning when kids are unable to write, but need to be able to type, but they need to have their materials there. It creates an environment where students of all skill levels can be included more successfully.
Yeah.
So that seems really, really important for our school.
All right. Do we have any motions?
These are individual motions, or do they?
Yes.
I move to approve the repaving of Loop Road at a not-to-exceed cost of $1,815,000. Did I say that right?
Second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That is all set.
And I move to approve the full flooring replacement in existing corridors, classrooms, and administrative spaces at a cost not to exceed $547,453.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Is there a train?
I know, it does sound like there's a train going above us.
Custodial card.
Yes. Okay.
I move to approve the new tile scope in the existing bathrooms at a cost not to exceed $120,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's all set.
Move to approve the replacement of the existing toilet partitions at a cost not to exceed $69,404.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's all set. And
Want to go for the last one, Ian?
Move to approve additional funding furniture replacements at an added cost to the original budget not to exceed $125,000.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? that's all set. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Really
for being here.
appreciate it.
We
And we'll
appreciate
get right on the Loop Road pricing. Of course.
All right, going back. You're out of order. Board of Health. All right, Mr. Bishop,
Yes.
level C, paraprofessional request.
Hold on 1 second here. One second.
Nope. Nope.
Sorry. Can we shut the Apple TV off? Thank you very much. Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. Yes, all right. So I'm here on behalf of our Director of Student Services, Ms. Beatty, as well as Mr. Cotter from Hopkins, bringing forward a staffing request. We are requesting the addition of a 1.0 FTE paraprofessional, level C position, to support 2 newly registered students whose IEP includes some significant needs. The current staffing we have is being stretched thin and often kind of pulled away from their current responsibilities to be able to work with students, which has not been sustainable. This position is necessary, we feel, to ensure that we remain fully compliant with IEP requirements. The anticipated cost is approximately $30,000, which we expect to expense through the IDEA grant as well as our operational budget. And as I know you've heard me say before, because this is not the first time we've come forward looking for a paraprofessional, mid-year, I think keeping students in district supported by skilled paraprofessionals is a priority for us and promotes both academic and social success. And reflects the inclusive environment that we're fostering here in Hopkinton. So with that, I respectfully bring this forward for your request to hopefully grant our position for the Hopkins School at a 1.0 paraprofessional C level.
Thank you. I move to approve the level C 1.0 FTE paraprofessional for Hopkins.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Superintendent.
Thank you very much. Yep. All right, I'm also bringing forward a request for the committee to accept 2 grants that will support the Hopkinton Middle School. HMS has been awarded a $500 grant through the New York Life Foundation's Grief Sensitive School Initiative, along with an additional $1,000 grant from Pacific Life Foundation. So together these funds will total $1,500 and will be deposited in the middle school gift account to support student needs and related programming. So we appreciate your continued partnership with these groups and these organizations. They've done a great job both at the high school and now at the middle school, which we're excited about with the grief work. And so at this time, we're looking for the committee to approve this.
Could you take a second and explain what the grief-sensitive initiative is?
Yeah, so we started this last year at the high school. We had a student that we worked with and his counselor. And what New York Life does is they provide resources for schools around, they call it grief-sensitive schools, but it might be bringing a group of students together that have experienced a similar loss and have a grief group run by a counselor. That's just one example, but there's a lot of different things and resources and materials that they can provide for students, usually through the counseling department, but when dealing with grief within a family member or within a school, so they do some really good work. So it's nice that we're
Something
extending.
we need, is it?
Yep, yep, it's something nice that we've been able to extend from high school.
And understanding the process.
Yep, yep.
Well, I move to approve the grant totaling $1,500 for the HMS gift account.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are thankful for those gifts.
We did that.
All right. Next up is we are talking about several searches. And if you could, in explaining the different searches, also talk about if there's been any committee sense and what the time, how long, how many, kind of give us an overview so that the committee can make wise choices.
Of course. I have a slideshow too here.
I would also add to that if there's a sense of what time of day, what days of the week.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Sure.
what I was getting at.
Yep, I can do all of that. Yeah, so if we can pull up the restructuring PowerPoint for me, hopefully this will work. So we wanted to walk you through as we pull this up. Oh, that's the last one. But we put together a PowerPoint. We'll pull it up shortly. about the restructuring. I know we've talked about it a little bit, the different positions, some of it driven by departures, some by retirements, but it also gives us a chance to step back a little bit and be intentional about how we want to organize our process moving forward and how to best support students. Let me see if I can pull it up. What's that?
Takes a minute to think.
Oh, it does? Slowly.
Oh, it's really slow.
There it is. Okay. Thank you very much. There, perfect. So looking ahead, we have 3 key openings. The Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, our Chief Financial Officer, and the Director of Student Services. At the same time, we've created a new role, the Assistant Superintendent of Operations, which Mr. LeBrod will step into starting July 1. This here is tough to see. It's an organizational chart, and the idea is pretty simple for us. It's about clear lines of between academics, operations, finances, so each area has a focused leader while still working closely together. It's not about adding administration. I know that some people have asked that question. It's about realigning what we already have. To fund this shift, we're moving from a model where we have 2 K-8 ELA directors to having 1 K-8 ELA director. That second position will be repurposed to support the Assistant Superintendent of Operations. And that just went away.
No one, the K-8 going from 2 to 1 doesn't result in any reduction of staff?
No. No. So right now, one of those positions is actually vacant.
Okay.
So the other person is doing the work of the K-8.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Sorry, guys, about this. A little tricky today. So let's break down some of the roles and responsibilities of each position here. We'll start with the operations position. This position here, it's a nice, I thought this was a fun slide we put together.
Yeah.
Focuses on the different operational work that Mr. LeBrod will be doing. Covers safety and security, food services, policy and compliance, technology and transportation. This role will also include Title IX and Title VI investigations, which he currently does in his role, which frees up the teaching and learning person to be able to really get into classrooms. Also with communication, and he will continue to focus on our mentoring and induction work with our new staff. This slide here breaks down a little bit more of the responsibilities, but also on the right, the direct reports. And so underneath, we saw that flow chart earlier, but underneath this position, Mr. LeBrod would be overseeing the Director of Technology, the Director of Facilities, the Director of Food Services, as well as our Transportation Coordinator.
And right now, all of that directing falls under whom?
So right now, the Director of Technology falls under the Superintendent, and the Facilities, Food Service, and Transportation falls under a part of Susan's job.
Okay.
So next slide here is the breakdown of the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning. So from an instructional side, we're also calling this position the Chief Academic Officer. It focuses on curriculum, assessment, professional learning, student outcomes. The role will also oversee student learning data, MCAS and reporting, grants, our MTSS work, educator evaluation, as well as our equity and ESOL work. This slide further kind of breaks down some of those roles and responsibilities, and also on the right-hand side, the direct reports, which would be the Director of Math and Literacy, our K-8 directors, as well as our K-12 subject matter leaders, which include visual arts, wellness, music, as well as BTE. We also have our 9 to 12 SMLs, which is science, social studies, English, and math, and they'll be overseeing the Director of Equity, Access, and Acquisition.
When we start looking for people to fill these roles, will you supply what your expectation of that person should be?
Of course. Yeah. That's the plan. Yep. So we'll talk about that when we get to the interview committees.
Okay.
And what we're looking for and the expert, the background that they have.
Okay.
I think that'll come from the committee that we put together too, and some of the wants and needs that they have.
Because I think you probably have a pretty good idea what you're looking for in some of these positions.
Yep.
Are these existing positions in other districts? They are?
Yeah. Yep. And some of them, some districts have more direct. Yeah. But these are very standard positions.
Got it. Thanks.
And then our chief financial officer position, which would be just the financial component of the current job that Ms. Rothermick does. We're trying to be intentionally designing it to fully focus on the district's financial leadership and long-term planning. And so by separating this work from operations, we're hoping to set this role up with clear priorities for their time and space needed to do the job well and at a high level. So this position will include leading the budget development, multi-year forecasting and quarterly projections, as well as state and federal reporting, and overseeing our accounting and finance specialist right now that Susan does also in her current role.
Didn't Ms. Rothermick kind of lay out how to reduce the scope of what she does to make her, that she would have more ability, I'm not saying this well, but to reduce the number of plates that person has to juggle.
Correct. And that was a big reason for us to try to separate this position, to make sure we set the people up.
Because I know you have a lot of plates spinning.
So that brings us to timelines. And so this is an area where we wanted to be very specific and structured here because we have a lot of openings. We want a lot of feedback from folks. So we're trying to separate this a little bit so that we have people on different committees and that we're able to kind of take our time through this, but also don't want to wait too long because we want to make sure we get the best candidates for these positions.
Sorry, were we sent this?
No, but I can share it too. Yep.
Okay.
I'm happy to send this to you afterwards. Yep. So on the left, top left is the Director of Student Services. So it has been posted now for a while. It started posted on January 23rd. It closes on March 1st, or March 2nd. Our first round interviews are going to be March 5th and 6th. So we are going to be looking for a school committee rep to be on the first round interviews. There'll be second round interviews for this position where the school committee will be very involved, very similar to what we did the last time we went through this process last spring, where we'll have some level of a forum for the community or a meet and greet as well as an interview with the school committee. So the dates up there for the first round will be 5th and 6th. We'll probably do it over 2 days. We're thinking the 5th would be in the afternoon and the 6th would be in the morning. And then the 12th is a Thursday. That would be in the evening. That would be for all of you to be a part of for schedule purposes. So we'll need one rep for the 5th and 6th, and then all of you hopefully will be able to be part of the March 12th.
The 12th, I'm sorry, is in the evening?
It's a Thursday evening. Yep, very similar like we did. We'll have you probably in the conference room in the high school maybe doing the interview as well, and the folks are out on that.
How has the response been?
Good. Yep, we have over 20 applicants. We're meeting as an admin team on Monday to review and go through our process of what we want to bring in. We're looking to bring in probably 6 candidates and feel we have some quality candidates. Going down, you see the CFO also was posted on January 23rd. That posting closes a little bit later, and we'll have first round interviews on March 11th. Again, we're looking for a rep on this group to be part of the first round interviews for the CFO. We might not need a formal second round or to the degree that we'll do for the Director of Student Services for our CFO position, but it's something we can talk about. We've also reached out to Appropriations and the Select Board, who are also sending a rep to that interview committee as well.
How have the applications been for CFO?
We haven't received as many applications for that position as we have for the Director of Student Services or the high school principal, but we do feel we have some candidates that we can bring in to interview them. We're looking forward to.
Is that normal to get, just a large or smaller pool of people that would?
Yeah, this generally can be one of the more challenging. You know, we've been.
Makes sense.
I can't.
More specialized.
I can't tell you how fortunate we've been to have our current.
Our last search for this was very successful.
Yes, it very was. Yes, it was. So it's that's talking to other superintendents. There is a lot of other CFO positions open in the state as well. So there's some turnover there and some openings. So we want to make sure we jump on this and try to get the best people we can.
Sorry, just out of curiosity, where does this job typically get filled from? Within an assistant finance head, or CPAs, or?
Yeah.
It's kind of a combination of all, right? Yeah.
There are some that will look to move from private.
Yeah.
A lot of times it'll be maybe an experienced person who's looking for a larger district.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So kind of from all over.
It can be from all over.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what pool did you come from?
I came from private,
Okay.
but that was a long time ago, too.
What drew you here?
Well, I wasn't here first. I was in another district.
What drew you from private to schools?
Private was 80-hour weeks.
You don't do those here?
I do 60.
On a good week.
On a good week.
Except for budget season.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, the interviews for the CFO position on the 11th, are those anticipated to be at what time?
During the school day. During the school day, yep. And then up in the top right corner is the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning. We'll be posting that tomorrow, so that's updated. It's going to be posted on the 27th of February. We're going to close that towards the end of March, and then those interviews will be towards the end of March, beginning of April. So I guess what I'm looking for all of you to think about is we need one rep for March 26th and 27th, and then we'll do something very similar for that role that we're doing for the Director of Student Services. We'll need all of you to be a part of a conversation with that rep on April 2nd. So if we go to the next slide quickly, I tried to just highlight the dates that you need to put in your calendars. At the top are the first round interviews, so we'll need one of you to be available for March 5th and 6th, one person for March 11th, and then another person for March 26th and 27th. We haven't figured out the time of day for the 26th and 27th yet. And then the ones on the bottom, white, March 12th is the second round interview for Director of Student Services, and April 2nd is the second round interview for the Director of, the Assistant Superintendent.
How much time do you need on the 5th and 6th?
We're looking to bring in 6 people, 1 hour interviews apiece, maybe a half an hour ahead of time and a half an hour below for debriefing. So you're looking at 3.5 hours each day. We've done it all.
I thought you said 6 at an hour. Okay.
No, yeah. So we're looking at 3.5 hours on March 5th, 3.5.
Are we going to have any community members on any of this?
Yes, we are. So I've contacted CPAC, waiting for a rep for that committee. We have community members on the CFO position. So we're also trying to divide and conquer. So Mr. Lebrod's going to be running point on the CFO hiring. I'm going to be running point on the Director of Student Services. And Ms. Beatty is going to be running point on the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning.
So if that sways which committee you want to be
Yes, if you want to think about who you want to be with.
Just like think about that.
Mr. LeBron definitely no.
Direct. Yeah. And also not on here, which we'll want your voice on, but you don't have to be fully participants like you are in some of these other roles, is the high school principal, which we have seen significant interest in.
Oh, good.
A lot of sitting principals. Yep. So we've Mr. LeBrod's going to be running point on that as well. We have a committee. We had 34 high school teachers asked to be part of the interview committee. That was awesome.
And how many are you going to pick?
We're going to pick 10. 34, I think, would be a little intimidating for anybody to walk into. But we have a great applicant pool for that. And so we also have parents on that. We have a whole student committee that will interview.
Oh, that's already been formed.
So that'll be coming as well. Yep.
Sorry, do you have times on the 5th and 6th? I'm only asking, I can't do any of the other dates, but do you have?
I do. Yep. So the 5th and 6th is going to be 1 to 4 on the 5th, with maybe 12:30 to 1 as kind of a committee get together and look at our questions. And then on the 6th, it's going to be 8:30 to 11:30. So it's afternoon on the 5th.
Does it have to be the same person, 5th and 6th?
Ideally, yeah. Yep. But with that position, you'll all meet the finalists that we put forward. So if we have 6 candidates for the Director of Student Services, that's the hope. We might move forward 2 to 3 to the group, and then you'll be able to meet those candidates then.
The previous 2 times we've done this,
We're experienced at this now.
The Director of Student Services interview committee was a subcommittee of the school committee, and there were 2
reps.
school
That's
committee
correct,
members
because-
on it.
Yep.
Can we have 2?
Suppose you can, yeah.
And then,
Yep.
I mean, I think that from
Because
the
it's a
previous 2
direct hire.
Yeah.
right, and
Yeah.
and then
That's the
everyone who
only
was
one
on
that
it
we
had to be
own.
sworn in, right? Because it was a subcommittee of the school committee.
Did that up, yeah. Oh, it doesn't need to have, okay.
For the Director of Student Services?
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be a subcommittee.
I don't think it needs as a subcommittee, no.
Oh.
Yeah, it may have been
But
last time.
I thought the reason it was because it's making a recommendation to the school committee. Much like when we did the superintendent search, that had to be I guess the pros and cons, I don't know what the con would be to making it an official subcommittee. Maybe there are, maybe there aren't, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
good question. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys talked with Connor Deegan about that at all.
We have not.
Because he sometimes has opinions on whether or not it should be
Yep. Okay.
an official subcommittee.
I'm not aware if
But
it has to be, but I can.
Okay.
look at it.
Right, like 2 times ago, I was not on school committee, but I was the CPAC rep, and I had to be sworn in.
You did, okay.
And-
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we vote to, the school committee would vote to disband it at the end.
Right,
At the end.
right.
All right. Let me look at that. But
And that's coming up.
it is. It's coming up next Thursday,
So-
Friday. Yep.
should probably make a decision.
Yep, so I'm looking for,
We
yeah.
need to have a motion to create a subcommittee. We need to do that before next week.
The motion would have to be something like, if necessary, since we need to have
We
Mr.
need to make sure
Began
we
tell
do.
us what
Yeah.
we need.
Yep, I would reach out to him because I'm not entirely sure that that is something we have to do, but maybe it is. So it'll be
Get him
something
to call him while we're talking.
Yeah, I'm sure he's watching. Yeah.
Isn't everybody watching?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think so.
Of course. Yeah. What we can do is have 2 reps if you'd like, and then we could
Okay.
find out from there if we need to make sure
Yeah.
that we have.
And then just have, if people need to run down to town hall,
Yeah, exactly.
they're open on Tuesday.
Or have town hall run up. Swear in the whole group.
So yeah, so if we can have a conversation, if we'll need 2 reps for the Director of Student Services, 1 for the CFO, and then 1 for our teaching and learning.
I'm definitely interested in the teaching and learning.
Okay.
I'm interested in the CFO one.
Okay.
It was very sold by Mr. LeBlanc.
Clearly.
I'm interested in student services.
By him saying, that he was having it.
You got able to make both?
Oh, you want to work with Jeff is what you
Well,
want.
actually,
It's the date's lined up for you.
I'm interested in the position, but it also, the date lines up for me.
Oh, yeah, that's what.
So if we have Nancy, well, for the CFO, we have Susan for the Assistant Superintendent for Teaching and Learning.
That's what I wrote.
Sounds like Kyla, you're
I'm interested in student
I'm interested in
services.
DSS, but
Yeah.
but you had a
I
scheduling conflict.
can only, the only dates I can make are March 6th and
Student
April
services.
2nd, so if that doesn't work, it's
Okay.
fine.
All right,
They
so-
can handle it.
All right, so if Jamie and Kyla want to serve as the 2 reps for the Director of Student Services. Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, we got a good pick last time.
Yeah, we did well.
Yeah.
Circumstances beyond our control.
Yeah. We're still a little crabby about it, but
But we wish her very well.
But you're wishing well.
we do wish her well, as well as the Holliston Public Schools.
Great. All right.
All
Well, I will make
right.
sure we schedule for those and communicate, and then we'll make sure we'll let you know
No
about the
official-
second dates as well.
Can I make a motion? I move to appoint Susan Stevenson to serve on the interview committee for the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning /CAO.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Want to make a motion for Nancy Richards Kavanaugh to serve as interview committee for the Director of Finance, CFO.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great.
And we need a motion to appoint you and
Jamie.
Jamie for the search for student services, correct?
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, great.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
We're
Easy enough.
hopefully getting some great
Yes,
people
we're
to add
looking
to our
forward to it.
team.
Yep, yep. I know it's a lot of positions, but you
And
know,
you
we're
have it.
we're a desirable district, and I think we're going to get some really
Did you
high-quality
just
candidates.
post the teaching and learning?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
So all the interested candidates are watching
There they are.
currently.
Can't wait for it.
They're looking forward to meeting you, Susan.
Yes, they
Oh,
are. All right. So we are, oh, what did I do with it? I thought I brought it up. Sorry, hold on. Oh, here it is. We have the charter survey for boards and departments. Hopefully everybody had, I need to fill this out, but I need your all input. I don't want to fill it out myself. I don't know if any of our charter review members would like to talk about this.
I think this was designed on the night that I couldn't be there.
Okay, so Nancy, you're on.
So, looking for feedback for the charter review, it's an ongoing process that the committee meets on the Thursdays that we don't meet, so it's kind of nice for Jamie and I. But trying to get as much feedback from the community as well as specific boards and committees to really try to bring forward something that would be hopefully well supported and capturing what the town wants in terms of the review of the charter.
That's great. So the first question, if anybody has any input, have you encountered any problems or issues with the rules in the current town charter affected your ability to do your job? I know of no problems that have affected the school committee's ability to govern. Does anybody else? No? Okay. Are there other sections of the town charter, not necessarily specific to your position, where you feel changes are needed?
I certainly have thoughts, but I'm happy, like, that's not part of.
But you're already
it's not really-
representing.
I'm already represented,
on
so
the
I
committee.
think that, you know.
Does anybody else have any thoughts they'd like to pass along for that? Okay. How effective is the current budget process and timeline that's established by the town charter? Who prepares our budget? Are you able to work meet the budget guidelines currently in place? I'd say we do. How well does the current budget process work? And do you think the budget process could be improved? And if so, in what way?
And this would be looking at not just what we do, but really what is done with the town level, and kind of how our things move into it. So is it?
Ms. Rothermere, do you have any insights from your experiences? I know that the question is for us, but so much of what we do through the budget is guided by your role.
No, I would say that the budget process that we do, I mean, we start very, very early. So it is what it is. I mean, we have to vote the budget in January, and so we back up having the final number in December. But it works. It's fine.
Is there anything that you've run into with the way that our budget process interacts with the town's budget process that seems like something that would be useful for us to share to the Charter Review Committee, or it sort of is what it is and they're like parallel processes until we start?
Yeah, no, I mean, they are parallel. And, you know, I work with the town in terms of that budget calendar just to make sure that we're all walking in the same direction. The school committee does have their information prepared way ahead of the town, but I don't think you can change that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
And what are your feelings with respect to elected versus appointed positions in the currently detailed town charter? I like the way our government works. I'd rather not have a mayor.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's some appointed positions that I think might benefit from being considered, but
Being considered to be elected instead of appointed,
or clarifying the process of appointment.
At this point in time, the appointment is that simply putting your name in and you'd like to?
People who are interested in open positions that are on various boards, they can apply through Grancias, the town web server, and you basically submit a little statement, and then someone from Town Hall reaches out on the evening that the select board is considering the appointments.
Okay.
And then, of course, it's better if you show up and engage in a little back and forth about why you're interested. I think that there's something to the way that those positions are publicized, and there's where a lot of people don't know.
It often seems to me that positions go unfilled, or just one person puts their name in and they're there.
Right, and then they're there forever, which is lovely that people are so generous.
Right, but whether they're as, it becomes a matter of town interest too, of qualified people who are interested or even aware.
and there are some appointed boards and committees that the membership seems to rotate less, and I don't know if that's, I have no idea why that is, if it's people's specific interest or not their interest.
That's not
Or,
helpful, is it?
you know, but so, I guess that would be the question of, is there a better process for that? Timing-wise, I think one thing is, two different things we're talking about. One is an appointment that happens, like in the case of where an elected position is open and it's not able to be filled in a timely manner with the way the election cycle goes. And that has happened. We've done that. I think when an elected board personally is something opens up, I think when it's practical, it's best to do the election the way we do it, but I think there are times when you don't want to leave an unfilled position, or at one point we had 2 unfilled school committee positions. That's hard to leave the amount of work that we do and the amount of work that we do behind the scenes for 3 or 4 people to do.
I think that works well.
Being new to the community, though, I wonder, from some things that I hear, oftentimes you end up with people who are, like, we're limited, we have term limits, and then you have to run for re-election. When you're appointed to some of these committees and groups, do people become ingrained and the need comes for new ideas, and it doesn't turn over very often?
They have to be reappointed at the end of their term.
Okay.
There does seem to be, I don't know if people are intimidated to jump in for an appointment when somebody's been doing a particular term for 10 years or whatever, but there are, off the top of my head, I know we've discussed them more at length at the Charter Review, but I know CPC, the Commission on Disability, Zach is appointed, I think. The CONCOM, appropriations.
Yeah, to me, it seems like if it's a committee that wields a great amount of power, they should be elected. I'm thinking about CPC, who controls a lot of money. It's
that sounds
1 or 2% of our tax revenues a year. And maybe
their decisions are weighty.
I don't know that there's. I don't know. I served on CONCOM.
Yes, that's why I was looking at you.
After we first moved here, I went to town hall and said, "I'm an OT. Or do you have anything that I could help with?" And they said, "Conservation Commission." It's like, that's not. I don't know.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with what you do.
They're like a health thing or accessibility, but and they said no. It's important. There are people who aren't experts in this because we have a town. Employee who is an expert. It's to be the voice of the people, but you learn a lot. But I think that's one of the boards where people tend to. A lot of the people that I was on that board with had professional training in that area, and they tended to stay. But they were also really well versed in everything they were looking at. And I don't know that any of them would have run for office if it were elected.
That's always a tricky thing to do.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
We've all been there. All right.
So do we have to make a recommendation or
Kyla's going to summarize what we said. Send it to us.
Oh, okay, good. That's a lot to summarize.
I'm taking great notes. Can you tell? I might have to rewatch the video.
That's the beauty of the school.
Yes.
It's televised. You can
it's recorded. All right. Should the charter require rotation of public body chairs on an annual or other periodic basis?
So I would offer my opinion for what it is, because I am somebody who served 3 times in a row. As a chair. It felt like 400 times. But I think that it's healthier if there is turnover, but I also feel like it's not always in the best interest of the committee to do it annually, because there are years when there was maybe not somebody else who was willing to do it. Or there are years where it's a brand new committee, and I'm not just talking about us, but in general. So I guess my hesitation would be around saying annually, but to try to, because I think having that rotation encourages kind of the leadership moving forward, and so that it's not falling to, somebody doing it for, I think they're 10 years or something like that. I don't, know who would want to.
That makes sense to me, that periodic would make sense and not requiring annual, but.
And I think it's important, and we certainly do it, but to have the discussion annually and to try to look at that. So that would be my 2 cents.
Because there's much to be said for a chair who remains in place for a while because they understand, and whereas I'm sure Kyla had a lot of angst over
she's very like a pro.
She's very good, but that
I had no idea what I was doing. That's okay.
But
you learned.
Figured it out.
But
It's a lot
I
of help
think,
from Nancy.
Next month, you're better.
I think though, like you were in a good position after the work that you did last year to kind of step into the chair role this year. And I was still here on the committee if you
Yes,
had
to help
questions
me,
or
yeah.
anything else, and that would be, you know, I think.
Sounds good. Anybody have anything else they wanted to say about the survey that they have not had an opportunity to do so? Okay. I will summarize this, and they've been awaiting this. The survey never made it to me, was the problem.
Yes.
I
We
was not
didn't
designated a
realize.
chair of a committee in Hopkinton.
Even though you've been in this position for forever.
They fixed it
They
so that
fixed
you will
it.
get
I
all of
know.
those things. And we
chair.
held off on the discussion of it because they did.
They're waiting on us.
No, because they were going to meet tonight.
Oh,
It was going
yes.
to be the charter review. And so they, because it.
So we messed things up with school vacation last
School
year.
vacation threw things a little bit different, so it worked out perfectly.
Oh, good, perfect, all right. I will summarize this, get this over, so you all can decide next week. Great, and thank you to the two of you for serving on that committee. It is very important. All right, Superintendent,
Yes.
close this out here.
Yes, I recommend that the school committee approve the items by consensus as listed in your packet.
I move to approve the items by consensus.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, there we go. I move that we move into executive session to comply with or act under the authority of MGL Chapter 30A, Section 22G1, specific to the review of the executive session minutes for January 20th, 2020, March 10th, 2020, May 14th, 2020, May 28th, 2020, June 4th, 2020, February 5th, 2026, and adjourn in executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I think we have to do roll
Can
call.
we
don't
roll
have?
call that?
I'm a yes.
Nancy, Susan,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
I'm a yes. We're going to executive session.
Beautiful.
Were the minutes sent in individual emails, or was it?